Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're talking about the 10th Planetary House Lord through houses. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me in the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright, so, talking about the 10th Lord through houses. But, first off, when we look at this, we look from the ascendant of the birth chart. Birth chart is your life from birth until your early to mid 30s. So we look at the ascendant in that chart, because ascendant is your overall path in life throughout that time. Then we look at the ascendant in the D9 Navamsa chart, because the D9 Navamsa chart is your life from your early to mid 30s until the end of your life. We also look from the moon in the birth chart, making moon the ascendant. Now, you don't do this in the Navamsa. It doesn't work there. But in the birth chart, making moon the ascendant. That'll show how you think and feel about your reality. So looking at house lords from the moon is also important. But we're talking about the 10th Lord today. So, 10th house is your career. It's your status, your fame. It's your yeah. Okay. Redo. Alright. It's your managers and bosses. It's your workplace. It's government, especially national government. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. 10th house is the highest house of karma. So, knowing this, it's even important if you're retired. But with the 10th house, let's talk about 10th Lord through houses here. So, 10th Lord in the first house. Well, here your life becomes about the world. Because 10th house is the most visible house. So society is very visible. Well, now society is coming to you. But this is also a great thing. Because it shows status and fame can come to you. Here, people want to come to you in your career. But this can show you're a bit of a workaholic. That can be there as well. Here you now have to be the king. Kingly status is coming to you. The king has to delegate. King has to lead. This is a Raj Yoga placement. A Kendra Lord, an inner plate Lord in 1st, 5th, or 9th house. The trinal houses. So, this is a combination of kingly status, meaning your reputation in the world increases, whether it's just in your local community or, you become famous. Maybe you just get a promotion, a raise, you move up in the world. Here, karma is now on your head. Meaning, you have to perform. You have to work in this world. You can't rest on your laurels with this placement. You now have to get out and work. Like, this person could start working from an early age. It depends on the time period of this planet. Now, 10th Lord by itself won't necessarily show a person's career. Rather, it would show the tools one might need in their career. So in the first house, you might have to use your physical body for work at some point. Now, that may not mean that your, main career is tied to physical labor, though. Here we see what the people in your workplace thinks. That affects your personality. Because first house is your personality. What's going on in your national government, national politics, that will affect your personality. For instance, if there's a presidential candidate you're rooting for and they lose, well, that's going to affect your mood for a while. More so than it might other people. But yeah, overall, this is mostly a good position, but like I said, be careful of that workaholic tendency. Now, let's talk about 10th Lord in the second house. Well, second house is your family. It's your earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's your possessions. It's what you value. It's your speech. So, knowing this, here we see, first off, your family can have very high status. Because now the 10th Lord of status is in the second house. Family could even be famous. Here, at one point, you would work with your family. With some family members. Here we see you like to speak about what's going on in the government. And you would have karma. Your highest of karma is now towards the family. It's now towards finances. It's now towards speaking. You have to speak for your work with this placement. You can't be mute. Can't not talk. Yeah. But yeah, what does that highest of karma mean when it comes to your family? Well, it means you have to work for the family. The king doesn't just get to lay around. King has to work on behalf of society. You have to work on behalf of your family with this placement. Meaning, maybe you have to take on the responsibility of the family. Maybe you have to kind of lead the family to a better life. But that heavy karma is there. I don't know if y'all hear that siren. There's your omen. Trying to film when I could avoid that. I failed. Okay. About done. I'm trying to film here. Come on now. Affecting. There's my heavy karma. Apparently. Okay. Now, 10th Lord in the third house. So, third house is your younger siblings. It's your cousins, your neighbors. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's arts, it's sports, marketing and sales. It's your skills. It's 8th from the 8th. So it's the higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort. Because third house is effort. Third house is media, social media, the internet. It's short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel. Because it's 12th from the 4th house. Furthest place away from your homeland. First off, we see Your career, your status will go through a major transformation at some point in life. It will not remain the same. Here, your heaviest of karma is now towards the younger siblings. Is now towards communication. Here you have to communicate for your work. You have to have skills. You have to acquire skills on behalf of your career. Here, at some point, you could work with the younger siblings or with your cousins. Here, you have to put a lot of effort if you want to achieve status. That is part of your heaviest karma. You have to work harder than most people if you want to achieve that. But now, this could kind of be a Raj Yoga in itself. Now, it's not in the traditional sense, but 10th Lord in the 3rd house. Now, fame and status through all of your hard work. So, it can show that. Here, your effort can very much be rewarded. We also see here there can be a lot of communication about the government. I don't know, you could be a reporter with this placement if you have placements that show you can be a reporter. But this placement alone wouldn't show that. Okay. Now let's talk about 10th Lord in the 4th house. So 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. So, heaviest of karma is now towards your mother, towards the home, towards vehicles. You have to work for your mother. You have to help her. 4th house is also your homeland. So you have to help the people of your homeland. You can't ignore them. Here, you could even work with your mother at some point. Here, you bring work home. You're that person where when you clock out for the day, you're not really clocked out. You go home and you're still working. So, definitely being a workaholic with this placement. I don't know what that is. There's a bunch of bells going on behind me somewhere. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Okay. So, with this, we also see, though, your career provides you a lot of comfort and happiness. For you, you feel at peace when you're working. Here, you may even invite your managers and your bosses within the home. Here, government and politics become very important. Because 10th house is national government. 4th house is local government. So, you could be a politician with this placement. You could somehow serve in the government with this placement. Especially if you have placements to work in government. This would be supportive of that. Also, 10th house is your father's family. Now that's in the 4th house of the home. So, you could receive a home from your father's family. Meaning your father's family before your father got married. That could be the case with this. Okay. Now. Oh, another thing. Your heaviest of karma with this placement is to provide comfort and happiness to others. What the hell is that? I'm gonna pause this video real quick. Hold up. Okay, so that interruption was, I guess the best way to describe this is it was kind of like a pep rally or a marching band in the US. So like the Japanese equivalent. Apparently the Sports and Health Day, Health and Sports Day, however you say that, is going to be taking place the day after I leave Japan. So this was like a precursor to that. So yeah, that's what all the bells and everything was. It was like a little marching band pep rally thing going on. It's pretty cool. Hopefully it didn't, disturb the video too much. I thought it was neat. It's a nice little omen. Okay. I had no idea that was happening today. Alright. Anyways, we were done with the 10th Lord in the 4th house, though. So now, let's talk about the 10th Lord in the 5th house. Funny, because that was like a bunch of children in that little marching band. So, now we're talking about the 5th house. 5th house is children, students, subordinates. It's romance, fun and games. It's education. It's creativity, arts, sports. Fifth house is politics. Fifth house is speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. Fifth house is 8th from the 10th. So it's the sudden ups and downs and transformation of your career, of your status, of your fame. So, with this, here a person's heaviest of karma is towards children, is towards education, towards politics, towards creativity. Here you have to be creative in your work. And your career will go through a big transformation. There will be changes that take place in your career. It won't remain the same. Here your education benefits your career. Here you can work with your children at some point in life. Here your work could be tied to children. Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're a coach. Here, career could be tied to sports. In some way. Now, this isn't the main factor for what your career would be, but it's a hint. But here is a great position for politics. And people who are usually in a very different career before they go into politics. I mean, person usually doesn't start off just as a politician. They were usually something else before that. This is a great position. This is a Raj Yoga placement, a kingly status combination. During the time period of this planet, you will see a rise in status. Whether that's your reputation in your homeland, in your local community, whether that's obtaining fame, getting a promotion, getting a raise, getting a better job. But this is a very good placement for those things. Okay. Here, your children can have a very high status in life, especially the first child. This could apply to any of your children, because 5th house is children in general. So this is an excellent placement for your children. Now, let's talk about 10th Lord in the 6th house. So 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your pets. It's your enemies. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's health issues and accidents. It's conflict. It's competition, so it's even a house of sports. It's legal disputes. It's the house of unchangeable karma. Because a person usually will have to deal with health issues. You can't change that in this life. So it's a house of unchangeable karma. So with the 10th Lord going here, first off, we see you can have a maternal aunt or uncle who has high status in this world. Here, you can have very powerful enemies. You can have enemies in the government. Government can kind of be your enemy with this placement. Maybe you usually, follow the traffic rules, traffic laws. But for some reason, you're always being pulled over and ticketed. That could be shown with this placement. Here, in your career, you have to serve society. You have to be like the servant. You have to serve. And here, there will be obstacles in your career. There will be enemies in your career. But 6th house is 9th from the 10th house. It's the luck and fortune of your career. So we see there can be a lot of luck and fortune in your career. How? Here your hard work pays off. Overcoming enemies improves your career. Here we see you may have to take on debt on behalf of your career though. At one point, you could work with your maternal aunts and uncles. You could work with pets. But here, we do see you have heavy karma to deal with health issues. Whether your own or health issues of other people. Sixth house is health issues. 10th house is the knees. So with the 10th Lord being here, you could have health issues tied to your knees. Okay. So now, let's talk about 10th Lord in the 7th house. 7th house is relationships. It's marriage, it's business partner. 7th house is the masses. It's all the people you meet out in the world. It's 10th from the 10th. So it's the higher form of your career, of your status, of your fame. So with the 10th Lord being here, first off, we see it can be a very good placement for a career. Because now your career is at its highest state. Your status and your fame are at its highest state. Now, this isn't a Raj Yoga placement, though. It's not a trinal house. But this does show some degree of fame can come in. Now, that could be infamy. It depends on how well this planet's placed. What's the benefic, malefic influence on it? Same thing with the influence on the 10th house itself. Here, your heaviest of karma is towards the masses. You have to benefit the masses with the work that you do. Here, you can't be selfish in your career. It has to benefit others. And here, this can be a good position for a government job, especially politics. Because here, you are serving the masses through your career. Here, your career is seen by the masses. Your karma is seen by the masses. Your karmic actions are seen. Now, we also see, though, your heaviest of karma is tied to marriage. Tied to relationships. So, we see that will be a very big deal in your life. We also see that marriage improves your career. And also, this can be an excellent position if you do business. But this placement alone won't determine that. Okay. Now let's talk about 10th Lord and the 8th house. So 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's money. It's sex. It's death, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies. It's taxes. It's the occult. It's research. It's psychological baggage. It's surgeries. It's sun ups and downs and transformation. So, with the 10th Lord being here, first off, we see at one point you could work with your in-laws. Here, your heaviest of karma is tied to your in-laws. It's tied to secrets. It's tied to what's hidden. It's tied to transformation. You have to transform something through your career now. And your career will transform. It will not remain the same. You deal with sun ups and downs in your career with displacement. Sun ups and downs with your status. Here, your career will fall at one point, but then be reborn. Meaning, maybe you retired early, but then you decide to go back into the workforce. That could be an example of this. Here, definitely you can receive an inheritance from your father's family before marriage. Because now that 10th Lord, which is second from the 9th house, the family of your father, is now in the 8th house of inheritance. Also, here, your heaviest of karma is to deal with the emergencies of other people. 8th house is emergencies. It's sudden, unexpected events. You can be a firefighter with this placement. Now, for that, we'd have to look at what really shows your career. 10th Lord isn't the main factor in that. It just shows what you would deal with in your career. Here, there could be psychological baggage tied to your work, tied to your career, tied to status and fame. Here, 10th house is the knees. Now that's in the 8th house of surgery. So if you need a surgery, it could be on the knees. But here, there are a lot of secrets within your work. There are things you simply can't tell people about. Maybe that's because you work in government and you have to keep secrets. Here, we see though, the biggest thing is those sun ups and downs in your career. Career won't be stable with this unless you embrace the things of the 8th house. Now, if you have placements that show your career is not tied to the 8th house at all, then yeah, it's just going to be a little more difficult. You're going to have to ride the wave. Okay. Now, 10th Lord in the 9th house. Ninth house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. Ninth house is long distance travel, pilgrimage, publishing. It's higher education, especially beyond like a bachelor's degree, beyond typical schooling. Ninth house is your luck and your fortune. So here, we see heaviest of karma is tied to your father, tied to your guru, tied to your education, tied to traveling. It's tied to religion, tied to the law. Ninth house is your dharma, your righteous action. So here, ninth house is 12th from the 10th house. It is the loss of the career. Why? Well, now you feel you have to perform righteous actions in your work. But that can cost you. That could mean you give up a promotion. That could mean you change jobs and take less pay because your better paying job was wanting you to do something immoral. Here, religion could influence the work that you do. Meaning, if your work doesn't align with your religious views, your philosophical views, your legal views, you may not, pursue that work. You may not continue that work. You may give up opportunities in your career. Here, your career can suffer losses on account of your father. On account of your ancestral lineage, even. Because ninth house is your ancestors. So we see that is a possibility with this placement. But here, your karma is to perform righteous action in this world. To do what you feel is right. For the world. Here, you may, your karma could be towards teaching. You have to teach people with this placement. Even if you're not a teacher. Whatever you do, you would have to teach people at some point. But here we see the work that you do does provide you luck and fortune. Despite those losses that you deal with. This is still a Raj Yoga placement. A placement of kingly status. But this is kind of a mixed bag. It's like you will have those losses. But then you have that luck and fortune that comes in. During the time period of this planet, you will see a rise in status takes place. We also see that your father's family would have had losses on account of your father. Because 10th Lord is 12 houses away in the 9th house of father. So maybe your father dealt with a lot of health issues when he was younger. And his family had to take him to a lot of doctors. Of course, I mean his family before marriage. But that can be something that we see with this. Okay. Now, let's talk about 10th Lord in the 10th house. So, here we see your career is protected. Your status is protected. Your fame is protected. Meaning, when you achieve status, when you achieve fame, that's not likely to waver much. The house is protected. It would require a lot of malefic influence to impact that in a big way, to change that. Otherwise, this is an excellent placement for having a stable career. Having secure status and fame. Here, your ability to perform your karma is protected. Your ability to take action in this world is protected. So, this is a pretty decent placement. A lord in its own house is a good thing. Now, pretty simple though. Let's talk about 10th Lord in the 11th house. So 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, it's your network circle. It's large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's stock market, it's gains. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. So with the 10th Lord here, we see, first off, you could work with your elder siblings or with a paternal aunt or uncle. Here we see your heaviest of karma is towards your elder siblings, your paternal aunts or uncles, towards a large organization, towards society at large, because 11th house, just like the 7th, is society. And 10th house as well, to some extent. Here, elder sibling, paternal aunts and uncles, friends can have a lot of status. Here, you gain a lot through your career. Not only is the 11th house the house of gain, but it's also second from the 10th. It's the gain of the career, gain of status. The gain of your fame. Because now you're becoming famous with the masses. With large groups of people. Here, your career actually helps you fulfill your hopes, wishes, and desires. Here, your karma is to fulfill your hopes, wishes, and desires. So this can be an excellent placement. Most people want those fulfilled. But here, your work has to benefit society. You cannot ignore society with this placement. You have to do what's good for the majority. You have to benefit society at large. You can't be selfish with this placement, or those hopes, wishes, and dreams you have won't be fulfilled. Also here, you can gain a lot of status and fame through a large organization. Here, friends benefit your career. But yeah, overall, this is a very good placement. Now, let's talk about 10th Lord in the 12th house. Well, 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's addictions. It's fantasy. It's isolation. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries, anywhere you feel isolated. It's foreign people, foreign places, foreign travel. It's multinational companies. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest money, you have to temporarily lose money. So with the 10th Lord being here, first off, we see father's family could have been from a foreign country. Could have been from a far-off place, or now lives in a far-off place. Meaning father's family before marriage. Here we see your career could involve a lot of foreign people. Could be tied to a multinational company in some way. But here, your heaviest of karma is to serve people in foreign places. It's tied to spirituality. Could be even tied to hospitals, jails, Places in isolation. Your work will take you into isolation with this placement. Or to foreign lands. Here, this could even show sex work is a possibility, depending on if you have those placements in your chart. 10th Lord in the 8th house can show a similar thing. Here, you can achieve status and fame in a foreign land. But, if you don't go to a foreign land, this can show losses in your career. This can show a loss of status, a loss of fame. Here, we see you have losses on behalf of the government. Meaning, maybe government overtaxes you. Or fines you. So we can see that as well. Here, father's family may have dealt with addiction issues. Here we see your father really valued his mother, your paternal grandmother. Because 12th house is 4th from the 9th. But yeah, this placement is difficult for your career if you aren't in a foreign place. This is a placement where your career does better when you're in a faraway place. Or in a place of isolation. Like a hospital. Like a jail or a prison. Meaning you work there. Hopefully you're not an inmate. Okay. But yeah, and also, like I said, a spiritual career path. If you have the placements for that. But yeah, this is what I have for all of you though. Hopefully you all have liked this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out me and the channel. To be notified when I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. If you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright. That's what I have for all of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.